Sentire Media.
Welcome to the Stop Italian Sounding podcast, uncovering authentic Italian food. I'm your host, Robert Campana, and join me as we delve into the rich heritage of genuine Italian food, exploring its legends, history, and traditions. Through important tips and insightful interviews with industry professionals, you'll gain a deeper understanding of authentic Italian food. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stop Italian Sounding Show, uncovering authentic Italian food, bringing you small bites of Italian food culture. So, this week is the first Friday of Lent, and that means that many Italians and Italian Americans are observing the tradition of no meat on Fridays. That means no meat today. So, I want to explore how this practice isn't just about restriction. It's a window into the history of Italian cuisine, the brilliance of cucina povera, so peasant food or poor kitchen, which is a literal translation, and how Italians were creating delicious meatless and even plant-based meals long before the buzzwords of vegetarian and vegan even existed. So Italian food has deep roots in cucina povera or poor kitchen, which emphasizes a few things, such as using local seasonal ingredients, minimizing waste, and making the most of simple, humble, delicious foods. So historically, meat was expensive and often unavailable, so Italians relied on things like legumes, my personal favorite, vegetables, grains, and of course, seafood, seasonal things, obviously. And in other words, meatless meals were not just for religious reasons. They were actually part of daily life for much of the population. So this means that much of the traditional Italian cooking is naturally vegetarian, believe it or not, and many dishes are entirely plant-based even before such terms existed. And of course, nowadays they're considered, I don't want to say buzzwords, but they're used more in a way that makes it seem like that it's a trend or it's something brand new, where in reality it's not. So of course, fish became the key protein during meatless Fridays, especially during Lent. And some classes of dishes that I could think of off the top of my head are like baccalà, for example. Baccalà alla vicentina. Not many people talk about that. We're in Veneto at this point, where we have salt cod, slow cooked with onions, with olive oil. Staying in Veneto, another thing I could think of is the sarde in saor, sardines marinated with onions, pine nuts, and raisins. And then we go down the Adriatic coast and have a simple brodetto di pesce, so hearty fish stew made with whatever local fish was available. And then obviously we have the baccalà alla napoletana, another fish dish that seems to stick right now. So the cod baked with tomatoes, olives, capers. So these are just a few dishes that one could prepare, a base di pesce, as we say, so with a base of fish. And they show the creativity and the resourcefulness of Italian cooks, turning their humble ingredients into meals that are flavorful and satisfying, and obviously deeply tied to local tradition, because we know Italy is a mosaic of many traditions. So what's remarkable is that these meals are sustainable. They're very sustainable. So they use local seasonal ingredients, and they've been passed down from generation to generation. They're healthy, naturally plant forward, with a high amount of fiber. They're rooted in culture, local culture, which helps shape the identity of that specific area, where each recipe tells a story, and especially a story of adaptation, I would say. So the first Friday of Lent, which is today, is not just a religious exercise. It's an opportunity to celebrate Italian ingenuity, to enjoy simple, wholesome foods, and remember that plant-based cooking has been part of Italian life for centuries. So when you enjoy a plate of pasta fagioli, for example, pasta and beans, which is a literal translation, but something I grew up on, so I have to thank my mom for that, or something like panzanella, or like I said, fish like baccalà, but not only. Branzino is something else I could think of, or other types of frutti di mare. In fact, now that we're on the topic of frutti di mare, one of the best shrimp I have ever had in my life, ever, hands down, was the gamberetti di Mazzara. So the tiny little shrimp, it's called the gambero rosso di Mazzara. And it's a red, small little shrimp from the Mazzara area in Sicily. You eat it raw, drizzle of a very high quality extra virgin olive oil, and it was hands down the best. So good. Anyway, that was just a side note, but you're partaking in tradition, obviously, if you're following these humble dishes. that are centuries old, and they're traditions that predates vegetarianism or veganism, if you will, but embodies their principles naturally. Anyway, the first Friday of Lent, again today, consider trying one of these meatless Italian dishes. So, beyond honoring tradition, you'll be enjoying meals that are healthy, flavorful, and historically rich. Anyway, that is today's very quick episode of Uncovering Authentic Italian Food. Thank you very much for listening, as always. And remember, meatless does not mean flavorless, all right? It could mean history on your plate and could mean something extremely, extremely good, something that's been passed down from generations to generations. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the stories of authentic Italian cuisine. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more insights and interviews. Also, feel free to reach out with your thoughts or questions on our social media channels at Stop Italian Sounding or on our website, stopitasounding.com. Grazie a tutti e alla prossima.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.